There you are.
Yes.
I'll just put up 2 videos. That's how we roll at Spirit Primer. No stress allowed. Okay, so we were just talking about how you access them.
Right.
Talk to me about, so I know for myself, I was able to get a lot of information about certain relationships that I've had all my life, and the nature of those relationships that just suddenly made everything make sense. So for me, it really put some things in context. But what are the benefits of people getting information from the Akashic Records? How can they better their lives and raise their vibration and all of that?
Right. Okay.
The good stuff.
So there are so many aspects of the Akashic Record that you can use in your daily life. So one of the things I like to tell people when they first start to access the records is just use it really simply while you really strengthen into this vibration. But of course, because you're living in a higher vibration, you are literally receiving a healing by being in this higher vibration. The masters have given me 5 healing prayers that people can use also that are with the vibration of the Akashic field. And then so you open your records and you do these healing prayers. And so we have prayers for clearing karma, a prayer for health and physical healing, 2 prayers that help you to clear your energy field and your space so that you can get to be more solidly you. One of the things that we often don't realize is that we think things that aren't ours and feel things that aren't ours. And so when we can get clear, that can make a huge shift in someone's life. And then there is actually a prayer for alignment, also to really step into being in a higher alignment with your soul's path and to realize that the big, beautiful, strong soul that you really are. So there's tools like that that you can use every single day. We can use them really simply, like asking questions, how can I be of service to myself today? How can I be of service to my clients? How can I help my family, my community, really work with general things? Help me organize my life. Help me organize my day. What foods am I to eat that would be better and more healthy for me? So we can really use it in a very simple, everyday way. And then you can certainly use them for the big questions, such as, what might be blocking me from creating more abundance in my business and in my life? So we can look at the issues that come up with past lives, vows of poverty, karma around making money, old childhood beliefs that we have that money is bad, or, family, ancestral beliefs that money is dirty. So there's all of that information in your Akashic records. And then, of course, so you can talk about that around abundance and money, but what about relationships? Why did I pick this family? I don't feel very connected to them. They're kind of weird,
right?
Which is always funny for people like us to say. But anyway, so, what is the karma that I have with them? Why did I pick them? What can I know about it? And what can I be done with? What can I heal or clear? So there, you could step by step your way through any and every issue that shows up in our lives. So the benefit is huge, because what I noticed, I had a client the other day who kind of like you and me, was doing a lot of work doing radio shows and really bringing out spiritual information, but she had a huge fear of it. So big fears. I went in, cleared some past lives where she had been killed for speaking her truth. And she just emailed me and said, I've been invited to a show. I did the interview. The fear was gone. It was fun. Now I can get out there and do so much more of this because I'm not afraid of getting killed anymore.
Oh, that's so great. And before I got on the call, I did get into my records today and ask that question, because I have fear. I find that I'm all excited about Spirit Primer except for the actual interview. And I have all kinds of visibility issues and, don't know what I want to say. And so maybe I do have some stuff that needs to be cleared, and I got some information. So okay, so we find out this information, right? I get some download that I've got this blockage. How do we clear those things when we find them?
Right. Well, there's two kind of two pieces. So depending on if you're doing it for yourself, if you've learned to access the records and you're doing the work for yourself, then we would use the tools, which consist of these 5 prayers that I was speaking of, and some other energy tools and grace points and ways to kind of release and open our own energy field, our hearts, clear energy out of the physical body, clear energy out of our ancestral lineage. So there's tools that are in the first course, in the Course 1 program, that help you to do this.
Okay.
And then, of course, if I do a consultation for somebody, I just heal and clear it, because that's kind of my passion, is really as a healer. And so one of the strong pieces that I find in the records is to be able to go into past lives, look at all this trauma, all these times we've gotten ourselves killed for being healers or seers or being out there in the world, and just to clear that energy is phenomenal. So
right.
I do that for my clients.
All right. Well, I'll be calling you afterwards.
Okay.
Oh God, it's all so fascinating. So you do both private one-on-one sessions where you're actually accessing somebody else's records, and you also have the Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom, where you are teaching people such as myself. I've only taken the level 1 course, which taught me how to access my records to a certain degree. And maybe you could explain that too real quickly, that there are these different levels. Like what I can access is not what you could access, even though I'm learning to access them. Right?
Right. Yes, absolutely. So in the first course, it's kind of, I always say, like when you're in first or second grade, you're learning to read. You're see spot run, we're learning the words and the tools, and we're getting comfortable, and we're building a relationship with our own personal masters and teachers and beings of light. So of course, just like anything, as we build a relationship, it takes a little bit of time for most people. So that's really the first course, is we're just kind of taking these baby steps. We're starting to get more information. We're asking, again, why I love the daily questions. We can ask those for daily guidance. What's my next step in my business? All sorts of different kind of daily questions. And then in the second course, we go much deeper into the expanse of the Akashic field. So we work with past lives, we work with ancestral lineage, genetic lineage, what I call the soul lineage, which is very much, it's kind of like a string of all the lives that have led you here today. It's very much about our soul's path. And we also work with creativity, because it's phenomenal to boost your creativity with this high vibration, and really you're going into this infinite energy and wisdom. And so I sat down and wrote a book in about a week, really by opening my records and just kind of channeling what the masters wanted me to say.
Wow.
And I wrote in a couple of hours a very fun creation story, which really gave me all of this information about the creation of the world, which kind of from a different point from the Akashic field. So I was like, wow, that was a trip. It was really very fun.
Was that recently?
About 3 years ago.
Okay. And is that something you published, or how, do you have a little ebook?
In the process. I haven't published. I'm going into my writing phase for the next couple of months. So I'm working on 2 different books, Sex, Drugs, and Diapers. That's one. And I'm also writing a How to Access the Akashic Records book also. So I've got those 2.
You're busy.
And then, I think it would be really fun to do the creation story kind of just as an ebook, maybe even as just a gift kind of thing on my website. So.
Yeah. I predict big sales with Sex, Drugs, and Diapers. How can you not want to buy it? I don't even have kids, and I would read it. Okay, so Lisa, tell people how they can reach you for either one-on-one sessions. I know that you're busy, so you're not doing that many of them anymore, but how can people reach you for those? And then how can people find out if they want to learn to access their own records? Or even all the way to, so you have 5 different levels now, right? So
I do.
Yeah, so you can start at level 1 and learn to access your own, and go all the way up to level 5 and learn to access other people's.
Right, and actually the 5th course is to become a certified Akashic consultant with Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom. So if people really feel that accessing the records, that they're called to be of service, to do this for humanity, and they really, because a lot of people are looking for new careers and, different sorts of modalities. And this one is phenomenal and profound, and so I love it. I just made about a half a dozen certified consultants a couple weeks ago, so it's beautiful. And I've got a couple of people who are becoming teachers also, so there will be more teachers around the country. But so my website is akashicknowing.com, and that's AKASHICKNOWING.com, akashickknowing.com. And there is a lovely guided meditation on there, which is free if anyone wants to give that a shot. It's a different way than I teach, but it's very fun for an experiential kind of moving into that energy. You get to bathe in the river of forgiveness, which is lovely, and receive some gifts from your records, energetic gifts. So it's real fun to go do that. That's, again, akashickknowing.com. So you just sign up for that, and you get to download my free meditation. The course I teach in person. I'm in Northern California. I'm near San Francisco. So I teach the first course in person. I teach it on the phone as a telesummit, as a 6-week course. And now I'm actually also selling the pre-recorded course, which is not advertised on my website at the moment. But if people email me about that, which is lisa@akashickknowing.com, I'm happy to kind of get that to happen also. So those are a couple of different ways that you can actually take the first course and delve into it. And I do 30-minute readings and 60-minute readings. So I do try, I do think that it's very useful for people to have a consultation, to get in the energy, to have that experience really before taking the course. But a lot of people are also just really just ready. They know this is what they want to do. So I'm excited to have them join me in the school too.
Great. Well, this has really been, well, first of all, I just feel the energy. I'm really just sort of percolating and levitating, and it's really a wonderful space to be in. So thank you for providing that for us. And it's just so nice to see you. I mean, we have known each other for a little while now, and it's always so nice to actually see somebody, not in person, but almost.
Yeah, the whole Skype thing is amazing. I'm loving it. So I've got, I'm Skyping people all over the world. It's phenomenal. Very
so
fun.
Good. And listen, I'll be in touch about sort of clearing any further blockages of my own, because I'm raring to go, but I definitely find myself, butting up against sort of the same thing over and over and over again. And it's nice to know that even while I have talked about it in my own records work, I'm just not to the place where I can clear it, and I'd rather just pay you to do it.
Right. Well, again, that's my strength. That's what I always say is past life clearing is my strong suit. So that's, what I love to do for people, and people really have very profound energy shifts from the healing.
Excellent.
So it's a great thing. And what I notice, there's so many of us who have, all those years, there was 500 years of the Inquisition. So just imagine how many of us got killed for speaking our truth, or for being accused of being a witch because we were healers. So it's pretty prevalent out there for people like you and me as we get out there in the world to do our work.
So interesting. Yeah. For us Monty Python fans out there, nobody expected the Spanish Inquisition. I'll just leave it at that. Lisa, thank you so much, darling.
Thank you, Kim. It's been a pleasure.
We'll talk to you soon.